Hello and good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining our webinar for today. My name is Ivory, and I will be your moderator for today's presentation. At the end of this presentation, you will take some of your questions. You may want to enter them into the question box, but make sure that they are detailed and specific, just in case the question is coming from something that we need to go over at the start of the presentation. And for that, we will make sure that we know exactly what you are asking. Any questions that we can't answer today, we can answer them offline afterwards, or you may want to submit a ticket onto our portal at support.windwardsoftware.com, and for sure, support can be able to help you out with any of your questions. Also, you can now access past webinar presentations on our website. All you need to do is go to the www.windwardsoftware.com/webinars. You can be able to see everything in there. For today's presentation, we're going to be discussing different methods of taking payments on account. This is a great topic for sure. And our speaker for today, her name is Elmarie, and she is one of the software specialists with Windward Software. Take it away, El.
Thank you, Miss Ivory. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everybody is having a great day. As mentioned, our topic for today is all about the different methods of taking payments on account.
El, did you mute yourself? Sorry, I can't hear you.
Oh, I do apologize. How about this one? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you better.
All right, thank you. Once again, System 5 has provided the three different ways to accept payments on account, which are tailor-fit and convenient for your business needs. We have the edit sale, payment on account, received on account. In this presentation, we will also be able to know how these methods work. We have the most common, which is the edit sale. It is used when applying a payment on a specific invoice. It can either be in a type or a work order. Next, we have the payment on account. It is used to accept money from a customer and apply the payments to multiple invoices. It is also used to apply credit invoices to any outstanding invoices to write off the balance. Lastly, we have the received on account. It is used to take payments and deposits on account from your customers and is made with the R-type invoice, but it's not applied yet to the invoices. Now, at this point, I will show you through my live demonstration how each of these payment methods work. So again, the first method I'll show you is the edit sale. So we go to the main menu, click on sales, click on edit sale option. System would prompt the find invoice window. So we just click on recent button and select the invoice that we're going to pay. So in this case, we select this customer, click on yes to edit the invoice. And now here is the invoice with the item. Click on the tender tab. And then on your desired tender type, you double click on the side, the amount. System will then prompt, after you click on finish sale button, system would prompt to print or just cancel the invoice. So for this demonstration, I'm just going to click on cancel. All right. Next, the next payment method would be the payment on account. So we go to the main menu, go to Accounts Receivable, click on Payments on Account option, and click on New Payment. System will then prompt us to find the customer. So in this case, we have for this customer, Smith Mary. So as what you can see, there are a lot of outstanding invoices that we have. Um, for the payment on account method, there are three different types of taking the payment. We have the pay invoice, we have in which the invoice that's highlighted, for example, this one is the only invoice that's going to be paid. We also have the pay all invoice in which it will pay all the outstanding invoices for this customer. And then third is the pay up to invoice in which the system will allow us to enter an amount that your customer probably mailed or dropped off. And this amount can be distributed to specific invoices. Now let's click on pay invoice, the first option. So as what you can see, we highlighted this invoice and system prompted the amount right away. So once we click on apply button, system will then route us to the tender tab. We click on the desired tender type, double click, and system will then prompt us to print the invoice or cancel the invoice. So again, let's cancel to apply the payment successfully. Next, I will show you how the pay all invoice works. So again, same main menu, accounts receivable option, payments on account, new payment. We select our customer. So we go back to this customer here. All right. So we have four remaining outstanding invoices. So we click on pay all. So you got there all these invoices under the payment column. All the amounts have been auto-populated by the system. So once we click on apply button, we then routed to the tender tab. Click on the tender type, cash, double click on that, and click on cancel. That completes the payment made by the customer using the pay all option. Now, when we go to the pay up to option, still the same process. We go to payments on account, new payment, and then we select our customer. So in this case, we will select Paul. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pay up to. So let's just say that your customer dropped off around $500. So you provide or enter here in the pay up to field the amount that your customer provided. Click on OK. So there, as what you can see, it provided the payment on the payment column for this invoice. So basically, this invoice has already been paid about 500, and they have a balance of 839. So we click on apply, go to the tender tab, double click, and then click on cancel. So that's completing the payment on account method. And last but not the least, we are going to have the received on account payment method, or what we call the ROA invoice. So we just normally create a sale and then click on your clerk. Invoice type, that would be received on account, invoice type. You select your customer. All right, click on OK. Okay. All right. As what you can see here, there's a balance due. So this is the total of all outstanding invoices. And then here under the amount paid or in the amount paid field, we then can enter the amount that we have received from the customer. So let's say we have 2,000 as received on account. All right. So we can then go to the tender tab to complete the tender, finish sale. Oh, sorry, let me just, it would be cash, finish sale, and then cancel. So after that, you then now have the received on account invoice. Now there are two ways to apply the invoice or the ROA invoice. It can either be through the payments on account or through the ROA invoice itself. So let's say, for example, we have, or we can go to the ROA invoice that we have created. So here, let's open and edit this invoice. Okay, we then go to the outstanding invoices field. As what you can see, there are the outstanding invoices. So you can either double click here or select pay all or pay up to $2,000, which is equivalent to the amount received. So let's say pay all. All right, and then tender. All right. So as what you can see, there is a balance due because again, the customer only provided us $2,000. Finish sale. Oops, sorry. And exit. Okay, there we go. So that's for our received on account payment method. Now, as what I have mentioned earlier, we can also use it by the payments on account. You just go to the accounts receivable, payments on account, and then new payment. So let's say, let me check. Oh, for this customer, she doesn't have yet a receive on account invoice. However, if there is a received on account invoice for this customer, it will show up here and it will be highlighted in red. So that would be our, that's the one way that we can determine if that is an R invoice. And then you can apply that invoice to any future outstanding invoices. Or customer can have also the option to have a credit on her account in order to pay future invoices. All right. So at this point, I have already discussed completely all the different payment methods available that our System 5 offers. All right, so we can now proceed to our question and answer portion. Ms. Ivory.
Okay, so thank you so much, Elle, for that presentation. So we do have some few questions here. Um, First question is coming from Sally, and she said, if a credit term customer pays many invoices that are not in date order, is there a way to key in the invoice numbers instead of hunting for all of the invoice numbers?
Oh, yes. If you have the information of the invoice number, you can definitely enter the invoice number manually.
And I hope, Sally, that answers your question. And another one from Gerard. He says, when paying up to a specific amount, how does the system know which invoice to apply to? Does it automatically pay the oldest invoices first, or that can be selected manually?
Well, yes, thank you for that question. Well, actually, for System 5, it usually starts with the oldest invoices up to the recent.
Okay. Yes, I hope that answers your question, Gerard. But he has a follow-up question. He says, when would it be appropriate to use the R-type invoice?
Well, R-type invoices can be used, especially if your customer just would like to have a credit on the account, um, just to use it as a credit balance and apply it for future invoices.
I hope that answered your question, Gerard. And another one from Deborah. How do you fix these payments if the staff uses the incorrect tender amount?
Well, you can go to the edit payment option. Let me show you. Let's go here. Um, go to the payment accounts receivable, payments on accounts, and then instead of going to new payment, we go to the edit payment option. We select the invoice or the payment that was made. Let's say, for example, for Paul. All right. So if it's an incorrect payment, you can edit it here. Let's say this invoice should not be paid yet. Or let's say if the payment is like um, it should be 100 instead of $500. So you can just enter it here manually. And then you go to the tender tab. You first need to delete the line and then enter or double click the payment, the correct payment, which is 100. And then you click cancel. So that's how you're able to edit the payment that was applied prior.
All right, thanks for that, Elle. I hope that answers your question, Deborah. Another question from April. She asks, can a payment be made on the invoice no matter what the date of the A is?
Oh, yes, definitely. You can apply payments to the invoice regardless of the payment date. I mean, the invoice date.
Okay, thanks for that, Elle. Another question from Mike. He says, now, now do you use payment taken to pay ROA? Uh,
Um, uh,
Not sure. I'm not sure, Mike, what the question is, but sorry. Okay. He says, sorry. How do you use CC token to pay on account?
oh, for that one, we would have to check on that. Let me just check on that, and I will get back to you for correct information or detailed information about the CC token.
Yeah.
Okay.
Additionally, for that one, Mike, I'm not sure if CC token is one of the payment options that you have, but if it is, then you need to set it up as one as part or as one of the payment type in the system before you can be able to use it to pay on account. But if I'm wrong, if I'm understanding it wrong, I think Elle can be able to discuss that one with you offline. The terminologies used may be different, But yeah, we should definitely be able to check out with that one with you. Another question from Sally. Oh, okay. Sally says, please show you how that happens. Okay, so I think this she's referring it to her first question, which is about if a credit term customer pays many invoices are not on the date, not in date order, is there a way to key in the invoice numbers? Okay, can you show that one to her, L? How do you key in the invoice number if the customer is pays different invoices, but they have a specific invoice to pay?
All right, let me go and pull it up here. So let's say, for example, payment, new payment. Okay, let's say for this customer here. All right. So in order for you to add invoice, you click on the add button up top and then manually enter the invoice number. Let's say, for example, this one, and then click OK. So in this case, I don't have like an invoice specifically for this invoice number. So it will then not populate, but that's how it is. So again, click on the add button, and then you can then manually enter here on the invoice number field the specific invoice number. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, L. Another one here from my Mary. Can we use these options for collecting CC payment remotely, like over the phone? I'm not actually sure what you meant by that one, Mary. Can you be more specific, please? And we will get back to you. Okay, another one for Deanne. For payments made by credit card, is there a way for the system to prevent authorizing the full amount on the invoice when only making a partial payment? For payments made by
Um,
credit cards, is there a way for the system to prevent authorizing the full amount on the invoice when only making a partial payment?
a partial payment.
Okay,
Well,
so go ahead, Elle.
yes, go ahead, Miss Ivory.
Okay, so yeah, for that one, Deanne, basically, every time you tender a payment on the system, it is manually key in the amount. You need to manually put in how much is the amount that you're going to key in. So if you only wanted to pay portion or partial payment, then the amount that you will be putting in will matter. The system doesn't have a way. The moment you're going to create a payments on account, the system still would wait for you to put in how much the amount that you're going to pay in. It's not going to automatically automatically pay full amount of the invoices unless you're going to let them you're going to let the system know that you're going to pay them in full. So yeah, I'm not sure if that makes sense to you, but let me know if you still if that was not clear enough. Okay, question from Sally. If a customer shot pays an invoice by a small amount under $1, what is the easiest way to get rid of the balance due? If a customer short pays an invoice by a small amount, like under $1, what is the easiest way to get rid of the balance due? Do you have to create a credit memo? Well, if the invoice is not fully paid, there's always going to be a balance. So it's either going to full pay it or create a credit memo to write that one off. Maureen
Um,
is asking, can you use our invoice to record a deposit for a customer?
A deposit. Well, for the ROA invoice, once it's created, it will show as a credit balance on the customer's account. So it also works like um, I believe it also works as a deposit on the customer's account already.
Okay,
Do you have
so
anything to add, Miss Ivory?
yeah, that's actually correct. Is the moment you use the R invoice stands for is can also be used as an advance payment made by the customer on an invoice that is not yet created in the system or for sales that is not yet existing. So it is also considered like deposit on their account to be used for future invoices. April is asking, can you show me what an R-type invoice looks like? Can you demonstrate that one for her, L?
Oh yeah, sure, no problem. Let's find an R invoice. So like for this one, the type that you can see would normally say an R, and then when you double click, it will, oh, sorry about that. Let me just go here anyways. So let's say, for example, this one, find the invoice and then click on yes to edit it. So normally this is how an R invoice looks like. So it shows the balance due, the amount paid, and then if you have an early payment discount for that customer, it would also show, and then the balance remaining. On the outstanding invoices tab, you will be able to see the list of all outstanding invoices for that customer. I hope that answers your question.
Thanks, L. And yes, Maureen has a follow-up. And how does that reflect on the overall receivable balance? So basically, on the overall receivable balance, it will just show as a credit uh, balance. So well, technically, it's uh, it's a deposit made by the customer, an advance payment made by the customer. On the posting side of the receivable, it's going to be on the credit side. So it's credit onto your customer account, and that's going to be credit on the accounts receivable as well. So the balance of the customer will always show as negative or a credit if there isn't any other invoices on it. So yeah. Diane asking, when we are paying the make payments with web, when we are paying the make payments with web token, it auto generates the full amount. Okay, I'm not uh really quite familiar with that one. She said, sorry, I meant to say when we are trying to make payments by credit card, if it is not through POS, we have to get a web token. The web token auto generates the whole invoice amount, and has led to pre-authorizing the amounts on the client's CC. Okay, so Deanne, I believe there is. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe there is an option for you to set up not to pre-authorize. That one, I would still recommend you requesting or creating a ticket for that one so it can be discussed further. I might I may not be understanding it in full context, but yes, I would suggest that you request for a ticket and we will have a technician discuss that one with you, so um, this is more clear for you as well. Deborah is asking, is ROA payment always a two-step procedure? I'm not sure about the two-step procedure, but Can you show again, L, how the ROA payment is
Is
made?
created. Oh, you mean applying the ROA invoice? Is
Yes,
that what you
yes.
mean? Okay, so in this case, um, hold on. On account, balance due. It's already paid. Let me go ahead and check. Uh, all right. Let me go and create an ROA invoice first. Okay, let me show you accounts receivable. Sorry, received on account. And let's say for Betty. Okay. All right. So for her, let's say you would have to say 1,000 as received on account. Okay, proceed to sender, cash, finish sale, click on cancel. All right. Now, in applying the payment or ROA invoice, again, you can simply go to find the invoice. Edit sale. So this one here, double click to edit the invoice. Click on yes. And then click on outstanding invoices. And then you can then see all outstanding invoices. So you can select pay all or pay up to $1,000. So if you click on pay all, it will then provide all these payments. And then click on tender and then finish sale. Oh, sorry. Click on cancel. All right. Is that answered your question on how to apply the ROA invoice?
Okay, thanks for showing that one, Al. So Deborah, again, she asked, once the payment is made, is made as an ROA and shows a credit to the account, do you have to go in and apply the credit to the outstanding invoices? So basically, first of all, ROA invoice, it is actually designed if to create to apply the payment that is made by the customer for an invoices that is not existing yet. Like for example, the customer wanted to make an advance payment on a uh, on just an advance payment on their account, like a deposit on their account for future use. Yes, you can definitely use ROA is the best option or the best invoice to create. So you can record the advance payment or what do you call this, a deposit on their account for future use. And obviously, if you have now the outstanding invoices, or if you have now the a new invoices created, then definitely you can go in and use open the ROA and apply the credit onto those outstanding invoices. But if you already have an outstanding invoices and you made a payment, you can use the other options, which is the first option method is edit the payment and apply edit the invoice and apply the payment straight to it, or you can use the payments on account. ROA was initially designed to be used when you're going to make a deposit on the customer's account, wherein there's no outstanding invoices yet onto their account. Okay. I hope that answers your question, Deborah. Um, April says, last our invoice you did payment first of 100 if did not ask what invoice to apply payment to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Uh, April. I don't quite get what your question was. Last our invoice you did payment first of $1,000 if did not ask it did not ask what invoice to apply payment to. Yes. So if you're going to create an ROA invoice, normally on the outstanding tab, it won't show anything on it like to apply payments to. It will not show you which invoices. It wouldn't ask you to which invoices you wish to apply the payments to if you don't have any outstanding invoices yet. The moment you're going to have an outstanding invoices, then the system would have the ability to ask you if you wish to apply to these invoices or which invoices you wish to apply these payments to. I hope that is clear, April. Um, okay. I'm sorry, April. I'm not sure what you meant. Okay, here's what's gonna happen, April. I'm gonna have Elle um, uh, call you or recreate a ticket for you regarding some of your questions here to have a better understanding what's going on. Okay, and we're running out of time, so Elle, why don't you discuss further the remaining of the topics or the slides?
All right, thank you so much, Ms. Ivory. So we have our webinar archives. If you would like to sign up for future webinars or view previously recorded events, you may visit the website windwardsoftware.com/webinars. Resources available for our help center. You can view all available resources that would help you whenever you have questions or with regards to processes. You can visit windwardsoftware.com/help. For customer care portal, you can search knowledge base, submit and track support tickets. That would be via support.windwardsoftware.com. And for Windward Learning Academy, wherein you can sign up new employees and provide lesson-based topics, you can visit academy.windwardoncloud.com. For emergency support, please note that the following situation qualify for emergency support or emergency tickets. If there's entire system down, unable to take payment, cannot log in to System 5, and recovering from a power outage. So you can submit that via link windwardsoftware.com/emergency. Now, for guidance from our professional services specialists, if you would like to work with them with system integrity or accounting role-based plan, you may contact your account manager for a quote. You just visit the link windwardsoftware.com/professional services. And that's all. Again,
Thank you
thank
so
you
much,
so much.
Elle. And again, thanks everyone for joining us for today's webinar. I'd like to take this opportunity as well to invite you all on our next webinar, which is about our next webinar would be on October 19th, which is about break down a kit into its components upon receipt. If you're interested, you may also join us again on that particular webinar and hope to see you guys again. Again, thank you so much for joining us today and have a great evening, everyone. Bye.